Welcome back. It is good to see everybody in the house tonight. If you guys got questions for Andrew, feel free to drop them in the comments. We'll be throwing those up all along the way as we go throughout this thing. Some of the more important comments that we feel like are big topics, we may hold on to those till the end. So just stay tuned, stay with us, keep commenting. We love seeing that kind of stuff. So I'm gonna let you just introduce yourself, dude. Just go.
Yeah. Hey, everybody. I can't see the chat, but I'm Andrew. I'm a new member of Team Jackson Kayak. I'm down in South Carolina. I do a lot of fishing content, and I'm happy to be on the show, talk some content, talk fishing with Chad here, and feel free to ask questions if anybody has any. How's it going, Jesse? I see the comments come up now, but yeah, I'm glad to be here, man. I apologize I couldn't stick on the last one, but we got it this time around.
It's cool. It gives us a different opportunity, a little one-on-one doc talk. These are some of the things that I kind of want to start integrating as we move along. The panels are fun, but it's always fun for people to come in, get to know some of the anglers that are part of Team Jackson Kayak, maybe on a more personal basis, hear their story, and it might be something they can relate to. So that's kind of what we're going to do tonight, man. Is just kind of tell about you and just how you we're just, we'll just dive right in with the first question. Why not? How did you get started in kayak fishing? Where did your passion for the outdoors come from?
So I've been fishing as long as I can remember. My dad taking me on the back of his motorcycle, his old Honda Goldwing, to the creeks in Maryland. Josh is in the chat, so Savage River was a hot spot for us. And then bank fish basically my whole life, fish on my dad's boat, and really got into kayak fishing when I was in the Army. Just the idea of traveling, it's easy to transport. And I dove head first into it around 2018, 2019. Really got into rigging kayaks up. I used to rig cars and race motorcycles, and I was like, man, you can rig these things out just like you can bikes and cars. So my wife wasn't mad I had a kayak, wasn't allowed to have a motorcycle anymore, so it just went exponentially higher from there. And obviously, you pick up a camera and you try to get into the content stuff. It took it to a whole new level. So I mean, I've been fishing the whole life, but probably around COVID, right before COVID, like most people, I got really hard into the kayak fishing scene. Um, I was really big into weightlifting and stuff. Hurt my back. Kayak fishing was easy to sit. It was comfortable. I could still fish. So once that obsession kind of died out a little bit, I got even more into it because kayaks, you can easily transport them, put them on the back of the truck, and get to skinny creeks, fish real easy, and it wasn't really much of a strain or hurt like going through the woods, walking up and down, steep hills and fishing like that. So.
What was the kind of give us a little preview of the introduction to kayak fishing? How did you find it, or did it find you?
Um, so I had a lot of coworkers in the military that had kayaks. I don't know if he's watching, but Sergeant Gonzalez was probably the one that I was like, man, I want to get a nice kayak, right? My first kayak I got was a Big Fish 105. I'm a bigger guy. Back in the Army, I was about 275 pounds. I'm 6'2", so I was like, oh, this thing looks stable. Let's get that. Well, I hurt my back. It was too heavy, so ended up picking up a Feel Free and going out with him. And once I kind of saw, like, the bodies of water you can fishing with him, and got into the snakehead fishing more, it really just kind of it amplified it. You can get in so many different places, and just being out on the water, close to the water, stealthy. Um, that's what really got it started, was fishing with those guys. And one person buys one, the rest of your friends buy one, and then you meet more friends, and it just took off from there.
Yeah, that seems like one of the things that always happens is like one guy gets one, and then like this whole little community branches off of it and then starts more communities, and it just keeps going. I mean, it's really pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Um, Now let's talk about your time in the military. I mean, Heroes on the Water is something that we'd mentioned previously when we were talking before the show. How did Heroes on the Water help influence your um, navigation through kayak fishing?
So another teammate here, if he's on here, Rudy Yarworth, actually through that NCO, Sergeant Gonzalez, he brought up Heroes on the Water. We were in Western Maryland. There wasn't really a super active chapter out there. So he had a friend that was fishing out of the Eastern Shore. So we got an invite to go to Heroes on the Water. And the paddlefish heel mentality, meeting all the first responders there. It's a great time. That's how I met Rudy, a great friend to this day. And just being out there with them, it was really cool to see how many people got that, connection to kayak fishing and putting the bad thoughts in the back pocket, right? Because they can be out there catching fish, and there's all experience levels. You got brand new people just kayaking all the way up. So that, some of my best friends I met through Heroes on the Water, and I'm really glad we took that 3-hour drive out there to fish. So it's a great program.
Yeah, absolutely. Talked a little bit about content. A lot of these guys, when they start kayak fishing, uh, kind of get into the tournament side of it at first, maybe a little bit. They find a group of people and it seems like the thing to do. Next thing you know, they're rigged out, they're tournament fishing, yada yada. You kind of have went more towards content creating and having a lot of fun on social. Can you talk a little bit about that and maybe what steered you in that direction versus going completely the other way and going hardcore tournament fisherman?
So I got 3 young kids, right? We were talking about this in the green room. 11, 9, and 5 now. So my weekends are and have always been booked. And a lot of these tournaments, they're on the weekend. So for me, actually, a lot of how I got started with my side business, tactical fishing, it was content only. Had never made a plastic in my life, had never done anything. It was all content focused because I could go out, I could film a short trip, and that's a memory for me to have and, show my kids. And over time, I just had more fun filming the trips and making the content and doing the funny stuff. And I get the value out of that. I fish the monthly tournaments and I have fun with that. But I think just seeing the laughter out of people and kind of my kids getting a kick out of the content when I do the funny ones, that to me was more fun. I can do it on my time. And it's memories, it's documented memories. I have everything, if I want to remember a trip or a big fish or a funny experience, I got it. I got all the video, and that's kind of why I keep doing it because you have those. You always have those.
Yeah, I mean, you get a hard drive built up, and if something ever would say to happen to one of us, that's something that the family can go back and look at, and that's kind of cool. Or if Instagram lives on forever, who knows?
Yeah.
Uh, TikTok. I mean, we don't know. So, what is your favorite platform that you have utilized to grow your social?
So if you had asked me this question 6 months ago, I probably would have said TikTok.
I think a lot of people would have.
TikTok to me, for it's not as fancy. You can go out and there's the engagement and the connection with the TikTok community um, is a lot different than a Facebook and an Instagram. And what I mean by that is you can go and you can post one fish and you'll have 100 comments of people cheering you on. But Instagram, if it's not a 10-pounder, your engagement's down. So what's up, Trash Panda? Um, so TikTok, it still is. I like TikTok the most just because the engagement in the community is better. It's more tight knit. I've met a lot of friends on there. Unfortunately, I don't like the platform itself because you know, they like to ban people. And, a lot of years of hard work was down the drain with my TikTok now. So kind of had to restart. But, you know, it's still a
Ah,
really good platform.
a lot of people did. I think a lot of people panicked when that was going out, and well, it did go out for a little bit, but then kind of came back, and I think a lot of people did exactly what you did, and there a lot of them starting over.
Yeah, it went away. I think it was like 8 or 10 hours, or I don't.
Hmm.
I post everywhere because I just spread it around. Right, I knew something could happen at any point in time. So Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Oh, there's Rudy. Hey, no, he's the Marine's in the house now. Um, I always posted everywhere. A lot of them were concerned with it being banned because obviously they built a livelihood off of making content there,
Hmm.
right? And for me, I had a video or two that made some kayak money, right? But I wasn't really doing it for the monetization side of the house. So for me, it was more of losing the connection with the community that I built there between my business and my personal accounts. Um, but you find you have different communities on Facebook. They find you on Instagram, and
Hmm.
it's different people to hit. Obviously, I have partnerships with brands that I focus on Instagram and the Facebook because that's more of the professional platform to do so. But yeah, TikTok is a very easy point, shoot, post your fish, or talk. A little more personal of content, right? It's not so
Hmm.
cinematic. Um, so I spread my love out, right? The cinematic went one place, the talks, the rants, the whatever went on TikTok, and so there's a way to use them all beneficially for you. That's something I had to learn, but yeah, some
I agree.
crayon.
Some crayons. The crayons has made it into the conversation. It didn't take
Uh-huh.
long.
Uh-huh.
It never does
Uh-huh.
with Rudy. But see, Rudy comes in and says stuff like that, and then I get distracted. It happens every time. So let's talk about your brand, Tactical Fishing. Can you kind of give the folks at home some insight what you do?
So I mean, I purposely don't, I don't like that's brand there. Um, so we design soft plastics. So there's a lot of bait makers out there, but I've taken a niche for designing my own molds. We also design hollow body frogs, and we primarily focus on bass, largemouth bass, and northern snakehead for top water stuff. And that, like I said, the brand started as a content thing. A soldier of mine came up with a cool logo on shift at work one day and started filming. He had a baby, started making plastics, and then one day I was just like, you know what? I want to design my own stuff, and it's become what it is now. I mean, it's pretty content heavy as well. I split my time even, but it's soft plastics, content, that kind of stuff. It's fun. It's a good time.
Well, and the two mesh together pretty well too at the end of the day, as far as, growing both brands.
Yeah, and funny enough, I had never really focused personal content um, until, and I mean, this is a tool for anybody to use, right? Finally learned how to fish. um, I realized that I could use my own personal content as branding for my own brand, right? For my
Hmm.
business. And because this is the realization for everybody in the chat and watching, people are less likely to follow a business because they think you want them to buy something. So
Correct.
my method was if I push and use the not mouth vomit like you see some people do, but just subtle, use my stuff, my products in the videos, it will drive more traffic, and both accounts just went. And I was like, oh, okay, well, this is working exactly how you know I had hoped a little more so. So it was a good balance. They feed off each other. I only use my own products, so I don't catch as many fish in tournaments. It's part of the reason I don't fish them. I don't use hard baits or anything like that. It's a weird thing, but um, it's fun doing both. It's a lot of work, but it's fun.
I understand. Well, we got an audience question here from Mr. Jesse. What is your dream place to shoot and content? He wants to hear from both of us. I'll let you roll first, man.
Um, I'm a massive topwater guy. So I would probably say a fork or an oak, anywhere with big fish that eat topwater. It doesn't matter what it is. Santee Cooper here in South Carolina was a bucket list. I'd seen a lot of Alan's content with the cypress forest, and that to me is just like some of the coolest scenery you could get into. It's not very bland, the same scenery. It's cypress trees, and you got, the pads, the grass. That's what I love. Big blowups, big fish in thick cover, fishing is a combat sport kind of deal. Those are mine, hands down.
Mine's a little bit weirder. I'm Tokyo,
Oh,
Japan. That's I want to go over there, film, fish, catch something big, and then obviously on the other side of it, I want to go shoot Tokyo at night. Just kind of mesh it all together. So that'd be mine, Japan. When we going, Jesse? I've been trying to get him to go for a while. He knows. So yeah, Japan. Uh, oh man. All right, Josh has got one for us. They're firing them off now. Both of our favorite kayak and why.
so Josh is gonna he hears me talk about this newly acquired FD a lot now. I got this his old kayak, Josh's old kayak, for a very good deal, and it was going to be a backup, but it has quickly became my primary kayak. The Coosa FD is probably at this point my favorite, and reasoning, I am a motor guy. I run a Newport NK 180 Pro, so it is very easily, it's very efficient with a motor. It has the length and the width for an efficient motorized kayak. Deck space is phenomenal. Um, it fits, it paddles in grass really well. It's has a lot more primary stability than in my opinion, than the Coosa X does. So the FD is probably my favorite, hands down, right now. For sure, that is my answer. Coosa
Oh yeah.
FD.
I have to say I've got two really, and they come from both genres. And I would have to say the old Liska is still my favorite paddle boat to this day. Even though the Kusa X is here now, I really liked that lower profile and the stability for flat water that the Liska had to offer. It was just a cool boat. So it's still and still have one my favorite paddle boat. Even though I don't get to paddle it very much anymore, it's still my favorite. And then as far as the pedal boats go and all that, I really I'm like I'm still in love with the Nar. I like how fast it is, how effortless it moves across the water. It's just a fun fishy boat to be in. You know, obviously not motored up yet, but yeah, that's just kind of the boats, two boats that I would have to pick up out of the lineup and say those are my favorites. So let's see. Josh says he knew I was going to say the list. I'm gonna have to ignore all that for a minute. Because it's about you, it ain't about us. So, talking tactical fishing, you mentioned one of the things previously, and Rudy distracted me, and I forgot my question. We talked a little bit, and you and I have actually talked a little bit about this briefly: cinematic versus the more comedic or more. Well, there's actually I want to say there's three different types of content a person can
Oh
make
yeah.
now because there's personal, there is the cinematic still out there, and then there is the more comical, more amusing, just everyday. I'm not going to call it meme content because it's really not meme, but it's more fun and upbeat, kind
Yep.
of. It's not as serious, and that's a good thing. I think the world needs that. The world needs all three, really. How did you land on doing what you do? I mean, you kind of do a mix. It's more of a, that personal touch, but you have fun with it. How did you land there versus trying to go with the cinematic and spending a lot of time in that direction like some of us do?
I'm a goofy person. I am. I like to goof. I like to have fun. I do have a huge respect, like we talked about before, for the cinematic, the really well put together content. I'm just so picky with how I want it. I haven't dived into that yet. Um, it's coming. But for me, the big, lots of action, fish, big hook set, is where I go to the extent of the catch stuff. I love, like I said, the top water eats on camera are my favorite to get. But I'm also a meme guy. I love the funny content, the trends. My kids think they're funny. And honestly, if and I'm trying to word this, if you're looking to expand your content and really grow, right? You kind of have to gauge what your audience wants to, and you still have to make content you want to make, right? That's the most important thing, because if you're not making content, you're not going to grow. If it's not fun to make it, you're not going to do it. So for me, I do enjoy making, if I see a funny meme, make it fishing, right? I think memes are great. I do rant and I go on camera. I don't mind talking on camera. So there's certain things I don't mind voicing. I post my fails because fail videos are great, and I'm not a professional. But then we do have
You
the cinematic.
had one today.
What was that?
I said you had one today.
Oh, I have plenty. Um, get hit in the face with frogs. Yeah, catch gators accidentally.
It might have been copied and pasted for Thursday.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. Um, but yeah, I mean, for me, it's more, I have a lot of friends and family that appreciate all of it, right? And I still want to be able to generate content that Jackson can use and, arc fishing and my brand, right? And it can't always be funny. Yeah, Rudy knows I'm OCD about a lot of stuff. And projection, there's a time and place to post stuff. You can usually tell if I'm not fishing as much because then that's when all my saved up memes have came. They start coming out. Um, and different platforms like different things. I wholeheartedly will tell you, Facebook loves the memes more than anything else. Facebook will broadcast them.
Most
People
definitely.
engage. Yep, people will engage on them. So for me, if I want to focus Facebook for a little bit, I'll throw some memes out into the universe. If I want to focus Instagram, we'll go into the 12 to 15-second catch photo slash review stuff. If I want to focus YouTube, it's obviously longer and a combo of all of it. TikTok, talk to the people, ask them a question, and engage. Face to camera. So that's how I divvy it out. It's more fun that way for me.
Now we got one from the audience here. What did you learn in the military that you still use today as a content creator?
He,
PT belt is not an option.
yeah, he said I put a PT belt on my kayak. That's why I said that.
Hmm.
Um, Probably scheduling and professionalism. I'll be 100% honest. There's not very many times that I'll say something that I can't show to my kids, right? And I have some very strict rules. I don't try to get political, whatever. I try to keep it as professional as possible. So if anybody were to use it, they could use it. I'm representing the brands that I represent, right? So obviously we all have an opinion, but I don't want to disappoint. Just like in the Army, you represent the Army. I don't want to disappoint the brands by saying something that wouldn't go in line with their morals. And scheduling consistency. I mean, it's a job for me. You show up, you post. When you don't have content and you're not fishing, you got to find content. Everybody has tackle. Everybody has an opinion on favorite stuff. Everybody has a kayak. Some in here, most people have a kayak. Do a review, post a video, send it to friends for critique. Um, Take criticism, ignore the trolls. Not everybody's gonna like what you're doing. That's the biggest advice I have. I mean, if you're not posting, you're gonna. If you want to grow, you're not gonna grow unless you post. I tell this to everybody: just post. If you like it, cool.
So one from the gallery, peanut gallery. How do you handle negative folks on socials?
So I actually like them. I
They're
get
commenting.
I get enjoyment reading comments. The only line I'll cross. I had an incident last week where someone brought my kids into it, and that's a no go. You get blocked. I'll dedicate a video or two about it or a post to you. But it's engagement. I mean, when you're posting stuff, not everybody is going to like what you're doing, and everybody has an opinion, right? And you can't. A lot of people, and yeah, they do feed analytics, but for me, it's a lot of times when you're posting a tip, right? That's where I get the biggest ones. They may not do it the way you do, like rigging something or tying a Palomar or whatever, right? Someone's going to have a comment.
Hmm.
You can't get offended by it.
Yeah.
You can't let it. Or if they say your fish is small, I only catch small fish. If you go to every one of my socials, my bio says I catch small fish, so I cover it. It's the M&M method. I talk crap about myself, so you can't talk about me. Um, but you just got to learn to read over it. I reply to some things if it's appropriate to reply. If I don't, the comments will do it for me. I have a good group of followers that will police people up. So then I just read the comments. So
Yeah, I mean, even negative comments are good comments on social.
Yeah,
Thanks for your help.
Facebook, they love that. They're like, oh, there they go. All right, we're gonna boost this, and then next thing you
Yeah,
know, it's at 2 million views, and there's 1,000 comments, and they're all people arguing. It's terrible. There's Alan. Oh,
good to see you, Alan. Glad you could make it.
he's playing with a new lens right now.
That's good for him. Builds
It is.
character.
Yep.
So moving back at these guys are filling my questions for me. I don't have to do anything. What sets your baits apart from other brands? Kind
Mm.
of off topic, but yeah.
So, I have one simple rule: if I don't fish them, I don't design them, I don't use them. Right. So, a lot of the designs that we've came out with are a culmination of some of the guys in this chat with features and stuff that we find beneficial. So all my designs are drawn in house, and it's to fit a need that I have or friends of mine have looked for out of a bait that we didn't have. So not you can't just go online and buy them. They're mine, and I can tell you exactly why every single divot or appendage was put on a bait, and that's what's fun about it, right? Because taking our experiences from fishing, and we're making baits to correct some deficiencies or improve our fishing. So it's I don't know. They're like the little our little babies. You know, we oh man, this appendage needs to be a little longer. We wish this was a ribbed version of this worm. Let's just make it. So that's what's different. It's all with love and care, I guess.
Now, are you designing the mold yourself, or do you have a CAD designer that comes in and does that with you?
So I draw to scale. I can grid draw out to complete measurement. So once it's on paper drawn, he throws in CAD. I have CAD as well, but my mold guy is a really good friend, so he I let him be the professional with that, and then we tweak. So I get test molds, 2 to 3 test molds made per, run them, I fish them, send them to the team to fish, and then we tweak and adjust from there. But everything starts on grid paper, drawn to scale, drawn to specific hooks, drawn to a specific need, um, and then we adjust fire from there. So
Do you feel like drawing them by hand and drawing to scale versus looking at it on a screen actually gives you a proper
yep,
representation of the bait?
100%. I I do not like looking at CAD because I can't reference it to something tangible, right? Like
Hmm.
I have to be able to look at the bait, draw on the scale in my face and be like, yeah, this looks like it's going to be too thick, or put a hook over top of the drawing and be like, that's not going to line up where we need it. Even if you have a dimension in CAD, it's not there. So
No.
um, yeah. So I like
Yes.
drawing too. I've always been into drawing. So for me, it's just that personal touch of doing it myself.
Well, and you can get a lot more things the way you want to. I mean, as
Yeah.
somebody that's drawn in CAT a lot, I mean, drawing buildings that are hundreds of feet long, you lose perspective on how big that building actually is, or maybe even how small it is if it fills up a whole sheet. I mean, you can definitely lose your way in a computer screen drawing versus something that's the size of your hand and you want to see it and see how deep the appendages are. So that makes sense. It's pretty cool that you do it that way. I wonder how many other people actually still do it that way.
I have a lot of friends in the industry, and there are some. I've actually I've drawn molds for other individuals too, close friends. I don't do that for people unless I know you and I like you. No offense. Um, but yeah, I think it's when you have that in your face and you can like relate it to something. Like I said, it's easier to make those corrections because molds are expensive. Let's be real, right? Like a custom mold can be thousands of dollars, right? So if you're going off what you see on a screen and it has a measurement to it, and then you get it cut and you're like, oh, this doesn't work. That's I have 3 or 4 friends that still do it on paper, and
Mhm.
maybe not to the detail I do it because I'm really like OCD about it, but it's fun. We all compare drawings and provide input to each other. Hey, you should probably, based on how the mold's going to cut or the plastic's going to go into the mold, you should change this. It's not going to shoot right, or um, we all help each other. It's pretty cool.
So from the design process to now you've got a bait in hand, you're looking at it, you're going to start by testing it, which obviously leads to some content building as well when you're doing your testing. Have you ever just thrown a bait into a tank or however you test them, put the camera on it and thought, man, I didn't suspect it would move like that, but that's got a really interesting shimmy to it, or just scrapped it completely just because you didn't feel like it moved right?
So yes, for both. I actually have like three molds that I designed that are now no longer a product on my offering, because as you grow in designing, right, like you're gonna learn from mistakes that you didn't know in the beginning, right? So a perfect example of a mistake bait turned right, and if Jack's watching this, he'll tell you. Oh, there's Casanassis. I appreciate it, man. And I follow them too. They do great stuff. So our MRE, it's a minnow ready to eat. That's probably what we're known for more than anything. And that was supposed to be a Ned rig bait. We fished in the Potomac, and we were smallmouth fishing, and we wanted a staggered claw craw style minnow, right, to put on Ned head. Well, after testing it, we had found out that, and I didn't bring any of that in here because we're just talking. We found out it was actually an exceptional chatterbait trailer, and that completely changed how we marketed that bait. And people don't even know it started as a Ned. It is now what we are known for 100% is a chatterbait trailer. And we didn't even see the action until we fished it, right? Because, and this is for anybody out here that does design a product, a bait in a fish tank without current, without any other extra, you know, variables is going to perform different than in the water than when it's caught. And there's a lot of things that go into that. The thickness of a bait when it gets eaten by a fish, is it too thin and the hook's going to rip through it, right? Is the blend too hard? Is it not going to have the action just performing in cold and hot water, because that does change the durometer of a plastic, right? So you have to fish them. I put them in the tank and see if the general action is good, but nothing leaves and gets blessed off until it's been fished. It's caught fish. We can see the durability is correct. It doesn't rip too easy when big and small fish, because small bass destroy plastics. I'm sure everybody knows here. The small ones
100%.
destroy it. Go catch 20, 30 dinks, and that's how you know. That's your test right there. What do I need to fix? And then the content, right? It's been awesome being down here. Alan has really, really helped me with the content side, right? And it's always great to have a second person filming, not just for the kayak stuff, right? But for the plastics, I feel like our content is exponentially increased because, we're working as a team making that content, and second eye to it, the pictures, the video. And with smaller bait makers, there's thousands of us, and you got to think like the big guys, right? 6 cents 5 years ago when I first started doing YouTube was very small, and look at them
Mhm.
now, right? And it goes back to content. The Milliken effect is what I call it. You get a Milliken, or you get, a Kick in Their Bass TV, or you get someone that has millions of followers. It's going to exponentially increase oversight of the brand, and you know, you got to produce the content that they do, because that's what people are watching. So you have to up it, right? You got to act
Mhm.
professional, even if you sell one bag of baits a week. Pump out content like these guys do. The cinematic, good action. They can see the bait, the application. Um, so that's. I'll talk. I love content in any way, shape, or form. So I'll talk about it all day long. As you see, I'm a rambler, but it's fun, man. It's really fun to do both, because I can turn one off and then go to the other. If I get, tired of making bait content, all right, it's my turn. I'm gonna take a little break, go fish, right? If I get stagnant on mine, well, it's time to ramp some bait content up, right? And so I ping pong back and forth pretty heavily with both.
All right. Alan's got his own question. Do you recommend? I'll let you read all that.
Yeah, I know. We were talking about this earlier. I know what he's asking. So, um, reposting content. Um, I obviously repost content. I do it frequently, and I do it until I feel it has gotten the engagement that I want it to, right? And that could be whatever the person feels, right? So for me, if I catch a big fish and it flops, you're at the mercy of an algorithm when you catch a fish, or when you post a video. So if I post a big fish and it's a really good video, like good eat, good video, and it gets 100 views, I'm reposting it. I'm not going to delete the first one because Facebook and then will project it months later. I found. I'm going to post it again because I think it deserves better than that. That's me, right? Maybe edit it a little different, like you said. Cut the stagnant time out of it, less fumbling, just action, net, fish, bait in mouth, right? 14 seconds, real quick, instead of the 30-second version. Um, a lot of the cinematic content, Alan loves it. You post a lot of cinematic. I'm starting to do some. It's a very general audience that will sit and watch the story. So sometimes those don't get as many views. But if you crop them down a little bit, like I did a Father's
Yep.
Day or
Speed them up.
what was that?
Speed them up.
Yeah, just clip to clip. I did a men's mental health month post, right? And it's no audio, but there's each clip isn't more than 2 seconds. So it's keeping attention. It's all cinematic, right? I don't see an issue with reposting stuff. People do it all the time. Now, the one no go I will say is taking people's content and not giving the credit, right? I see a lot of people building channels off just reposting other people's content as their own. I can't stand that. It's happened to me multiple times. People download a video, don't tag me. Um, that's the only real line I'll draw, but there's no issue reposting it if you think it deserves better, right? If you want to post it. That's it's part of the game. That's part of generating views, in my opinion, if that's what you're looking for.
Yeah. All right. They keep coming. What is your favorite bait? And why is it not the swagger stick?
It's not, Chris. So the swagger is our stick bait. That's like and Chris is a big reason. I'm not a stick bait guy. I don't throw them. I do when he says they're catching fish on Santee, but getting the salt blend right was his doing. He helped me a lot with that. Favorite bait, probably a frog, or I'm a big creature bait guy. You can put them on everything. You can Texas rig them, shaky head. You can punch them. You can throw them on chatterbait. Um, Probably our bomber bug. It's the first mold I ever designed for a reason. I'm a creature bait guy. Love creature bait, so I'm gonna lock the creature bait in on that, just because diversity. Dream person to shoot content fish with. Let's both answer this one. That's a good one. You can go ahead first on this one. Okay, goes for both.
I'm perplexed about, do you mean like shoot for somebody or shoot with somebody?
Shoot
That's
content and
vague.
shoot content and fish
Person
with.
is
So
so that means we have to be on. I don't know. That's a tough one. I mean, I really don't know. I just feel like I
honest,
really don't have a person.
me probably Mark Zona.
Yeah,
Um,
that's fair.
I really enjoyed watching his shows on YouTube, and he just seems like he's a lot of fun to fish with. And they
And
still,
party with after.
so he's just someone I always gravitated to watching. I think because of his personality. He's not like so filtered like some people are on camera. Milliken would be fun to fish with because he catches big fish and he scopes, right? And he's like kind of like that, staple character. But I think growing into this, watching Mark Zona's shows, obviously Bill Dance would be hilarious, but it would need to be like prime Bill Dance where, I'll go back in time and fish with the prime. No offense to him now, but he's probably a little different on a boat, right? Less likely to fall out and have the funny stuff happen. I'm gonna stick with Zona. Zona's a catches fish, has great show, great knowledge, fun guy. So Zona's mine.
Eh, I'd have to go with you on that one. I think the only other person would be Brandon and Kyle, but I feel like that they would be Kyle or Brandon would be very Well, he's just very, PC a lot of times. So, I think that's okay. But, I think Kyle and Brandon together would be a lot of fun because you would learn from the content side and, from Pollinix fishing. So yeah, those two I would have to throw them in the mix as well.
He makes some really good. I actually just started watching his channel a lot more. He does some really good stuff. I forgot Tactical Bassin is another one that I can't leave out. I'll just YouTube wise, Tactical Bassin, kind of the reason why tactical fishing became a thing, with the name, right? I was in the Army. Um, yeah, that's a really good question because it's so hard. Like, you want to catch fish, but you want to film, and some people just aren't into the filming aspect of it. So like, try to find the mix, I guess, of who you're gonna go
Mhm.
with. So that's a good one, Jesse.
That is a good one. I would film Alan Lockwood while I would be his cameraman.
Hey, I told him that those pictures the other day, I took those pictures. I'm gonna tag myself every time he posts those. No, I'm kidding.
You should. You
Yeah,
absolutely should.
yeah. Alan, it's a lot of fun going out with Alan. I tell him a lot of times put the camera down, but he loves doing it. I mean, and that's what we were talking about earlier. If you like filming, that is such an advantage, right? Because you always are just looking for those little things to record, or the angles of the shots. And he's really picky with the content, which I appreciate. I picky with the bait stuff, and then he's picky with the photos. That's not right. Don't post that. That color's off. I'm like, all right. I'll wait.
I understand. So, kind of moving back and kind of getting back to the story part of things, you're building these two brands, your brand, you're getting into kayak fishing all at the same time. Um, how many years do you feel that it has taken you to get to the point where you're at now?
I would say I really that's difficult because I didn't start really focusing growth per se until about 2 years ago. Um, I didn't. I just put out whatever, and then about 2 years ago, I was like, after I had one video go off pretty well, and I was like, man, that's pretty cool. Like, how do I do that again? And it
Mhm.
wasn't I want to have 100,000 followers, right? It was I want to play the algorithm. That's it for me. Is I want to see if I can figure it out. I do a lot of computer stuff for a living. So for me, it's the problem solving aspect of it, right? It's, oh man, why did that get 300 and this got this? But everything's the same, same time, same tags, right? Same time length of the content, same resolution. Why is this not doing this? What did I do wrong? So I started really diving into that about 2 years ago. That's when I made my own personal Instagram. That's 2 years old now. I was doing everything through TFC. It was Tactical Fishing was my personal Instagram. It was the business, right? And I was like, let's play with this a little bit and see what we can do. And then started seeing results. And then I just didn't stop. Just foot on the gas, scheduled content every day, every week. There's not a day I don't have something scheduled. If it is, I'm filming and I'm out on the water. So I'd say about 2 years, 2 years ago is when it went to a different level for me.
It's awesome. Now, one question that we did not cover in last week's, or well, 2 weeks ago's episodes when they specifically talked a lot about content. How often do you feel like somebody should post?
The honest answer, however much you want.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people that shotgun post if they have an idea, they want to get it out. Me, I will always I feed off of what I'm getting in that moment, right? So if I post something and it gets a lot of views and it looks like, you know, people are active and they're on, I'll post again. It depends on your goal, right? Like, first of all,
Mhm.
before we even say any of this, what is your goal with this? Um, if it's to grow and gain followers, you feed off your audience. you're getting a lot of engagement and a lot of views, the platform is blessing you in that moment, try another one. If you're not, give it a little break. Maybe change your content up. But if your goal is just to post and share your stuff, post whenever you want, once a week, once a month, whenever you feel like it. But growth, if you want to grow, you have to play what they're giving you. And if you're getting views, feed off of it. When the views stop, don't force it. Save the content. Don't shotgun it. Um, that's how I do it. If I see I'm getting a lot of traction, like YouTube, I've started working YouTube again this year. That was my goal, is to push, try to figure out YouTube again. And this month has been phenomenal. I mean, I'm posting when I see engagement, and shorts are averaging 30 to 60,000 views a short. We're at 1.5 million views this month. So it's all I feed off of what I'm seeing from the platform, and every single one of them, right? And that's just how I do it. I don't 2 p.m. isn't better than 6 in my opinion. Um, I relate everything to West Coast time too. That's another thing before I forget it. I post pretending to be in Cali, right? So if I'm posting in the evening, 10 o'clock seems late out here on the East Coast. They're just getting off work. So that's something to consider too. If you are looking to get, the engagement, you got to hit every section, because there are outdoors creators all over the country. Don't just post for the East Coast, post for the West Coast viewers too. So it's just the fun, right? That's
Oh yeah. And there's 100 different ways. Well, if you can get on YouTube and there's like millions of different philosophies and ideas and people that
mhm.
want to tell you and get you to buy into some package that they've got, and it's endless.
Yeah, that's one thing I will say wholeheartedly. Do not. Um,
No.
the only promotion, I've tested them all, right? I've tested them because why not? It's a tool the platform provides to you. So you would think because you're buying in monetarily to the platform, they're going to do something in return, right? You're utilizing the
No.
tool. It actually is why I'm not monetized on Facebook anymore. So I use a promotion tool to promote a picture of me holding a fish with a bait in the mouth for my tagged business, right? They flagged it for fake engagement, and now I'm no longer monetized. I'm permanently demonetized on Facebook because I used the promote tool. So, you know, there was a lot of bots that come with that too for the ones that do it on TikTok. Um,
Oh yeah.
Instagram, same thing. So just put the money into the gear, right? Instead of promoting 5 times a year, go buy another camera, get a second angle, get some filters for your DJIs or your GoPros, get some lighting, get the tripods. Put the money to make the content better so you'll get the more views, not just promoting it. So I'll get
Yeah.
salty on the Facebook point. That one stung a little bit. I was a little mad on that, but you know,
Yeah.
happens.
I mean, what do we say? I mean, unless you're Taylor Swift or Dwayne Johnson on Facebook these days, it's pretty tough.
Yeah, yeah. Facebook is hey, you can post all the memes you want and they'll go viral, but post anything. I found Facebook is the meme factory. Those go off. Instagram loves the really big fish photos. Been having the most fun with YouTube this year, I think, more than anything, because it's new for me.
Well, and YouTube's got a little bit of freshness going on too. Again, it seems like with really pushing and helping small creators, which is an awesome thing that YouTube's doing right now.
Yeah, I what's really disappointing, I guess, for me, like, and this is for anybody that produces a video that you spend hours editing, right? The worst fear of someone's when they first start is I'm going to spend up to, a day worth of time editing this video and it's going to not do anything, right? To
Mm.
some people, right? And I've gotten rid of Adobe. I edit everything I do is in CapCut, believe it or not. I'm testing just CapCut to see how I can do it. And spend 2 hours editing a video, but YouTube has been projecting them like weeks later. So,
Uh,
these shorts that are going right now were posted 2, 3 weeks ago. So, and that's what Facebook does. Facebook, I have stuff right now going off that I posted 2 months ago. Like when I say going off, I mean like there's a lot of engagement. It's high. Um, so YouTube, when you first get started, 100 subscribers, 200 subscribers, you're posting and you just got to stay consistent. They reward you. I'm seeing that now, but I don't have a lot on YouTube. I'm not as big on there as I am everywhere else. I'm not even big everywhere else. I should say follower count is a lot less, right? Um, but YouTube is more rewarding to me because they're watching your long form content, which is the story, right? Not just here's a 6 pound fish, right? Oh, I like it. Cool, right? Send this picture to me. No, like bot. Send this photo. Send this photo. So
Now, moving into what we have now with we're kind of steering down the content trail again, but moving into, where we're at now with short form video on YouTube and all the other platforms, do you feel like followers are as important as they used to be back in the day when, we were just posting for follows, basically?
So it depends what your goal is. If you're looking to land partnerships with brands, generally having that number is going to be better, right? Believe like, and I'm 100% for advocating for someone with 500 followers on Instagram is probably generating better content if they put time into it, right? They're just at the mercy of the algorithm. But if you're looking to land partnerships and for the tournament anglers looking for, you know, don't pay people. Yeah, Steve. Um, if you're looking to build a community, if they're true followers and they're engaging and commenting, I think it's still worth it. But if you're looking for partnerships, it's still worth it because that's your foot in the door. This guy has 150,000 followers, right? You're more likely to get accepted if you want to work with a brand than if you had 150. Like that is, I don't think that's ever going to change. Now, as a brand owner and a content creator, I look at everybody's content first because if you're going to be using it, right, or it's going to be representing your brand, is the content, is the followership more worth it than the generated content they're making? A lot of the times it's not the case because even those big creators are at the mercy of the algorithm, right? And a lot of them are experiencing them now, unless you're G Money and a few of these other guys that crank out millions of views every video. Having 100,000 followers on Instagram now means nothing. It really doesn't compared to 2 years ago when I started, right? Like they're still getting the same. I look at everybody's pages to see, oh man, are my views down too? Yep, everybody's getting the same. They're not
Yep.
hitting, they're not projecting your videos. You're getting 3 to 5,000 views, and you have, doesn't matter if you have 5,000 or if you have 60,000 followers, right? Um,
They get
TikTok
to
is,
doom scrolling.
what was that?
Your followers end up doom scrolling.
Yeah, YouTube, I haven't seen, as it's gone up, I've seen a lot more engagement, which is what you want. People are watching. I'm seeing watch times from old videos when I first started start going off. Um, and so you could tell they're engaged in the channel, but I know for a fact that if I get a new follower on Instagram, they're not going back to when I first started.
No.
They're following after that one picture, and then they may not see another one again, right? Um, Facebook is, you know, I do personal and business, so the personal content goes off. The business content is slow because people don't want to follow something they think they have to buy. That's just the realism of owning a business and doing social media, right? Like
Yeah,
they think,
people get tired of that advertising. I mean, think about yourself. I mean, as you're going through there, are you going to click on something with a link? Probably not.
mm-mm,
The
nope.
worst matter of fact, if you want to tear something up in your computer or your phone, the good way to do it is click on a link.
Yeah, and this is not like an offensive and like to offend people. People are lazy. I'm lazy, right?
Hmm.
If they're sitting in their bed at the end, most people don't want to click links and leave the platform they're on just mindless scrolling at night after work, right? So you really got to approach it differently from the business perspective. Now, there's ways to make it relatable, right? Like, oh, buy this, it's better than everybody else's. We made a joke, the some of them in the chat, the greatest on the market, innovative, right? Those are the key words for iCast every year.
Oh, yeah,
Every
100%.
year. And it's all the same. Make some relatable content, right? Like that make people want to try the product or follow you as a creator, not the cookie cutter stuff that everybody does. And that's where the funny comes in for me. It's just like people are so worried about looking goofy on social media. I'll let a lure hit me in the face or do something wrong or miss a fish hook setting. I don't care, man. If you tell me you've been fishing and you land every fish that bites, you're lying. You know, I just share it all. I don't care. Yes, Chris, game changer, best on the market, innovator, innovative.
Ready. We're it's almost ICAST time. We're what, about a month away?
Yep.
So hold on to your phones. Feel like everything's already launched by now anyway at the Bassmaster Classic and all that stuff. I don't feel like we see anything new by the time ICAST gets there anymore.
Yeah.
And there's
See
not
how
a
you're
lot
gonna
new
do.
anyway.
Hey, Steve, it's a lot. It's fun to post that stuff, right? Because you get to see yourself grow too. If you post the funny stuff. At least I think.
Absolutely. I
But
think anytime you're posting content, if you look back and no matter what kind of content you post, I feel like you're learning as you move along. I mean, we can all look back to when we first got Facebook and see how crappy our photos were when we
uh,
were shooting with our Motorola Razors.
you
I
remember
mean,
the
it's
original
come a long way.
Instagram filters? Everybody had like this sepia like high contrast photos with I yeah I
HDR.
yep, it is, yeah, it has come a
Yeah,
long way.
it has. Well, dude, we've made it an hour. Um, we've obviously got more to talk about, so you're gonna have to come back here soon.
Hey man.
We'll set up part two here in a little bit. But yeah, I'm gonna let you go ahead and thank the people that you want to thank, and tell people where they can find you, contact you, and get to know you a little bit better.
Hey, so right off thank you guys for having me on. I will say for the people in the chat, the Jackson team it has been so fun to be a part of it just because of this kind of stuff, right? Like we all talk, we all collaborate. No, my wife and kids, obviously, they put up with a lot of it. I'm out, I work my 9 to 5. I'm out in the garage till 2 in the morning. Um, all I talk about is fishing to my wife, and she's the reason I can do a lot of it. She picks up a lot of the slack in the house when I'm out there doing this stuff, right? Because we don't see a lot. It's not my primary income yet. So between the content and that, she's the reason I can do it. The guys in the chat, Rudy, Josh, Chris, Steve, all them, they really helped me the past year. Get a lot of the plastic stuff done. The snakehead guys aren't in here, but Richie and all them too. And just everybody that has helped me. If I shoot them a message about content, Bearded Paddler is one I talk to a lot. A lot of these guys, it's all the creators out there that are willing to share, right? I just want to be able, if anybody in here ever wants to reach out to me, I return the favor. I'm not gonna shy away from it. But it's just, and thank you everybody for that do follow me, and like my memes.
Yeah. And
So
obviously, thank you from both of us for everybody that was in the comment section tonight. You guys were absolutely awesome.
yeah,
They're still going. We love seeing it, and we hope to see you guys on part two whenever we do part two. Maybe a month, maybe you just don't know. So we'll see you guys in 2 weeks for the next episode of Doc Talk, and stay tuned for part two with Andrew. Looking forward to it.
thank you guys.
Good night,
Thanks,
everybody.
Chad. I appreciate you, man.